Hi everyone, welcome to H2 Economics Help. In this channel, I will be going through topics that's covered in H2 Econs as well as H1 Econs. Alright, it will be based on the latest 2024 syllabus. Okay, so we'll be studying microeconomics followed by macro and then international trade. If you guys are wondering if you should be taking H2 Econs or H1, let me tell you, take H2. It's a really fun subject, and as long as you can put in effort to revise, there's potential to do well. So some of you may ask what's the difference between the two, right? Actually, there's not much difference. H1 Econs is basically a few topics that's removed from H2. Okay, so before we jump in, let's look at what is micro and macroeconomics. So economics at A level is divided into these two sections. We have macro and micro. So in microeconomics, we will study the behavior of individual consumers and firms in the market for various goods and services. So example of what can be studied would be like the market price, the market quantity, how much to produce, who to produce for, and how to produce. Okay, and for macroeconomics, we'll study the entire economy as a whole. An example of what will be studied would include like the performance of the economy, whether there is positive or negative economic growth, the rate of inflation, which refers to how fast prices change, unemployment, and also balance of payment. These are the areas that will be studied in macroeconomics. Okay, so before jumping into any heavy content, let's clear up some basic terms that you will need to understand. So all economic issues, regardless of whether it's macro or micro, have two main aspects to be analyzed. One is the positive aspect and the other is the normative aspect. Positive economics is the branch of economics that study facts, cause and effect relationships. Basically, they are statements based on actual facts and can be proven to be true or false by collecting data. So let me give you an example over here. A rise in GST from 7% to 9% will reduce consumption expenditure. So in this example, this is a positive statement because we can collect data to show that a rise in tax levels will actually make goods more expensive. So people will spend less. And even if they spend the same amount of money previously before GST rose, right, they will still consume lesser. This is because when tax rates rise, they will have lower purchasing power using the same amount of money. Because every good is more expensive, they are able to buy less. Alright, so now let's look at what is normative economics. So normative statements is actually based on value judgment on how things should be. Basically, they are opinions. They cannot be proven to be true or false. Instead, whether one agrees with the normative economic statement really depends on their own personal set of value systems. Okay, so let me give you an example. So schools should start later times, should provide later timings to improve student welfare. So based on this is actually a normative statement because whether one agrees or disagrees with this statement is actually based on their own personal set of beliefs, right? A student that does well, has a morning bird lifestyle, right, who is more productive in the morning, right, would disagree with this statement that school should start later. Alright, but a night owl student, a student who is more productive in the late afternoon, will agree with this statement that schools should start later in order to improve their student welfare, right? So this is what positive and normative economics is. So let me recap. Positive is based on facts, alright? It's how things are and you can prove it to be true. You can collect data and prove it to be true. But normative economics is an opinion. It's how things should be. Alright, so if you want to be able to differentiate whether one is positive, one is normative, look out for the word should. Alright, so we'll be diving into this chapter in the next video. So bye for now and see you soon. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be notified when the next video comes up. Bye!